Hey, what's up? So the question is, do herbal medicines works? You know how there's things like, there's all kinds of plants that are said to have healing properties. Things like comfrey, also known as bone knit, or there's things like Solomon's seal, which is supposed to be good for like joints or things. There's things for arthritis, you know, certainly aloe vera. There's say thousands of these things. There's a plant, they say for every problem man has, there's like a herb for it anyways. I can't remember the exact, there's a rhyme, but so the thing is, the question is, do these things work? And I was on the fence about it for a while, but I have come to, for what it's worth, a conclusion, and so I will share that, and it is based on these lines. So it's along the lines of, so with medicine, the question is, do we treat causes or symptoms? You know, and so there is a very common phrase, I'm guilty of saying this myself, is that we treat causes, not symptoms. You need to get to the root of the problem if you want to affect a change. You can't just, the underlying factor which is contributing, which is causing something, you can't just, if you have a face full of acne, the answer isn't popping your zits or rubbing cream on you. If you have dry skin, it's not to put cream on it. You need to eat healthy. A healthy inside results in a healthy outside, so you need to address the issue, not cover it up or try to there's no avoiding the issues, like your body's giving you feedback, and you need to, in the case of dryness, you need to drink water, right? Or in the case of stuff on your face, you need to look at what you're eating and what might be contributing to that. I mean, there are certain things, certainly fried foods and other things as well, that can things that you shouldn't be eating, like say if I eat anything that has any kind of dairy products in it, I will get zits immediately, because that stuff, I'm not even going to go into it, how twisted and weird it is, drinking the milk of another animal and that kind of stuff, and then how it's, the conditions of those, like all this stuff, it's messed up. Anyways, it's not the point. The point is, do we treat causes or symptoms? And I've come to this new understanding that we treat both. Why would we treat one or the other? Because yes, you need to deal with the issue at its core, right? You need to address what is going on, but then alongside that is where these plant compounds can aid and assist in the healing process, and I have found great benefit in using them in this way. It's not one or the other, because it's like, okay, yeah, even if you're dealing with, so you've identified the root cause, why not use something to help soothe the reaction that you've been getting, to help to facilitate the healing process? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It makes perfect sense. But it doesn't make sense to try to use some of these compounds without identifying what is causing the suffering in the first place. You have to trace it back and then go from there, then move forward from there, right? So that's the thing. That is the answer, is that do we treat symptoms or causes? It's not this or that, it's this and that. You treat, it's a Bashar quote. I'm not, but yeah, so it's like you both. And for myself, because like I was struggling with problems with my knees, and this was because the legs, the muscles in my legs were so tight. My back was giving me feedback by cracking because of how your psoas is connected to your lumbar muscles, like the lower few vertebrae and whatnot. So there was all this tightness there in the fronts and the backs of my legs from meditating and from from sitting in a chair writing, and it had a very horrible impact on my body. I mean, but a beautiful learning lesson, but still, like, let's move beyond intense pain and suffering and whatnot. And so that was one factor in it. The other thing was just that, so I'm a slender dude, and you know what? I was weak. My legs were weak. And so, what you got to do to strengthen your legs? You need to go to the gym, and not only go to the gym, you have to learn about the science of working out. You need to develop a system. You need to know how to do squats. You need to practice these things. You need to learn from somebody who knows about them so that they can kind of hook you up with a protocol of like how it's like, okay, you do this and then you increase the weight and then you do it again and then you increase or whatever, like my buddy gave me some instructions and I've been following them and I've been having great results. It's taken time. It's taken dedication, to drag myself to the gym for what it's worth. It takes it's something that you have to decide that's important for you, but it's like, you have a choice. If you're dealing with chronic pain, you can say, for me, it was just like, if I can't overcome this, I basically have to give up my dream of being a yoga teacher and I need to get a haircut, cut this all off and get a real job. I don't have to cut my hair, but you know what I mean, right? I mean, you have to, and I'm willing to make any changes that I need to in my life, no matter what they are. If they make perfect sense and it's blatantly obvious that what I'm doing was incorrect, I have no problem embracing whatever it is that I need to do in order to thrive, in order to age gracefully, in order to, achieve inner peace and have balance and harmony in my life, in my mind, with my body, and with all of my relationships, all of my relations. And so yeah, I guess that's it. It's just it was very, very beautiful moment for me, because there's a lot of people that they do sell these things, like little balms and tinctures, and you can get it in oils and this and that. There's many ways of incorporating this plant medicine, and I don't mean entheogenic substances, into your life, right? But they are an aid. They are not something that they're not something that's just going to cover up an existing problem. They're something that can help you in a recovery process, and can, they're there for that. They're not there to fix your problems. They're there to help you fix your own damn problems. And it's something that I love about the aloe vera plant is that it I have found that, so I have a relationship with this plant. I have a relationship with it anyways. And so, but I found that it's like whenever I have a cut or something like that, I will cut off a little piece there and I'll put it on. It's like a natural band-aid. And then What it seems to do, what I think that's happening, is that it is helping to nourish the skin, especially like when you get a scab. It's like it's nourishing the skin underneath the scab, so that it is healing, so that that new skin, so that new process comes along very good, so that it doesn't dry out, and helps to keep it clean. You know, like this, I'm sure it's just good energy, and like you know, things that I'm not aware of, you know, to do with like its chemical composition, and what other factors could be, you know, that it could be contributing to the healing process. But I mean, yeah, very, very beautiful thing. And I'm very happy that I've kind of come around to this understanding, because then I can share it, right? And because it's so easy to say, if you had a plant-based compound or something, you got something to deal with some kind of a rash or some whatever issue it is that you're facing, and then you try it and then it doesn't work, and it's like, well, what do you think is going on here, you know? So and then based on that, you could be like, oh, well, this is hocus pocus, you know, like we need some, you know, some other thing. And it's just like, well, you know, as far as I can tell, it works. And it works very well, as far as I can tell. Like, I've referred to this stuff before as essentially energy medicine, because you have, at this point, there is an essence of a particular energy, a being, you know, they're essential oils, essence, you know, you have this spirit of the plant, as long as it's, you know, not super highly processed, you know, hopefully made by somebody who cares, with love. Because I tell you something, there is a difference between something that is made by someone or some corporation or entity that only has profits in their in mind when they're making this stuff, as opposed to somebody who feels a deep connection to the land, to the plants, and it's all about respecting and honoring. And it's like, you know, the process that they go through when they harvest these things, they make sure not to take too much, and they make sure to, you know, they respect the plant, they communicate with the plant. You say, hey, I'm going to use a little bit, you know. And it's like, the way that I describe this is, it's like, just because the answer is yes doesn't mean that you still don't need to ask, or that it's not polite to ask. You ask, right? You don't just take, be like, oh, this is for me, this is for me. I don't got to say anything. I don't got to do anything. I don't have to acknowledge. I don't have to, you know, I'll just take. Yeah, this is mine, you know. So yeah, anyways, there's a big difference between people who have that connection and respect where it comes from and what it's a part of, and like honor the process and make sure that it gets to you in the most you know, in a manner that isn't going to destroy, you know, because like some of these things, you know, maybe like big pharmaceutical company, or some not pharmaceutical, but some company that doesn't care so much, you know, they might not make sure that they don't say heat some of these compounds if they are not heat stable. You know, if they're volatile, you don't want to denature them, or, you know, because then it becomes, you take something that has healing potential and you render it, you know, kind of neutral, and then you might have some kind of a substance that you could sell to somebody and that could sit on a bottle, you know, on a shelf for like 10 years and never go bad. But it's like, does it actually do the thing that it is proclaimed to do? Or is it just all about you making money, right? So it's a thing. That's why it makes a difference that people know how to preserve the, that the essences of these plants, the compounds are intact, and so that they will work and function. So it's like, so just careful where you get them from. And and also I would say, like, so support local, say, like, people, women who make these things. Go to farmers markets, go to craft fairs, buy it from them. And it's like, yeah. And yeah.